The evidence in a new indictment against a local couple tonight reads like a horror story.
No doubt about that. This video just in. Beth Rathburn freed after posting bond on federal charges of running a black market body parts business that spanned from Detroit to Chicago and Phoenix. Her husband, Arthur Rathburn, remains in custody tonight.
7 investigator Jim Kurtzner begins our team coverage with the latest on the story. Jim, you've been following this for 2 years.
Yep, 3 raids, 3 cities, more than 1,000 human bodies cut up with a chainsaw right here in a business in Detroit that's been flying under the radar for years. A tough case for the feds, but get this, they have some inside help.
It appears to be an industry that is not highly regulated.
This is one of the insiders, the body broker, Stephen Gore, in Phoenix. He made a deal to work with the feds. After a raid at his body donation program found he was selling bodies from Arizona to Detroit. That's not all. Another body donation program in suburban Chicago is also busted. And evidence shows in all, hundreds of bodies and body parts ended up right here inside this shabby warehouse on Detroit's east side. They were kept on ice, not embalmed. Many had been cut up with a chainsaw. The money was made from doctors and dentists to practice. Many were diseased, HIV, hepatitis, and not disclosed.
The shipment of human heads that were infected that went on cargo planes, including Federal Express.
The fraud is the families who donated their loved ones in Phoenix and Chicago for science were promised they could not, would not be sold for a profit. Tonight, Art and Beth Rathburn in Detroit charged with wire fraud, transportation of hazardous materials, lying to the feds, 20 years in prison.
And certainly would be heartbreaking to know that your loved one ended up being cut up like this.
Now, charges are still in the works for a father and son business owners in Chicago and another body broker in Phoenix. If they go to trial, they could all be on trial right here in Detroit. I'm live downtown, Jim Kurtzner, 7 Action News.
Now, Jim, I know you mentioned HIV and AIDS and these body parts being diseased. Could that have been spread?
Yeah, he was part of the fraud, alleged fraud down in Phoenix. He had a body donation program down there where people would donate the bodies of their loved ones. But the key here is they were told they would be used for science, but they could not and would not be sold. And they made a lot of money over a lot of years in this process.
All right, I know you're going to continue following it because it's not over yet. Thank you so much, Jim. Our coverage continues now with 7 Action News reporter Simon Shakat.
And he's live in the newsroom with the victim's side of this grisly story, Simon.
Glenda, Carolyn, the FBI says thousands of people have been victimized by these human body brokers, and we've heard from family members in multiple states who are sickened and appalled by Art and Beth Rathburn.
When loved ones donated their family members' bodies years ago, they were convinced they would somehow help science. Now they're forced to face the horrifying fact. Feds say they were chopped up and sold for profit so doctors and dentists could practice on them.
I guarantee my brother's head sitting on a box somewhere on someone's shelf. Oh my God.
Makes your stomach jump. You know, I don't know what's going on.
The FBI and their partners have acted to make sure this never happens again. It's alleged the Grosse Pointe Park couple spent years lying to people about their business that included buying, selling, renting, and shipping human remains across state lines on the black market. The body parts sometimes infected with HIV, hepatitis, and sepsis.
He thought we were donating his body to medical science, and we were hoping that they could figure out what was wrong with his brain and learn about ADD.
Very difficult, and I'm waiting upon the body parts to come home, but I just have to wait longer.
Feds are saying the Rathburns lied to them right along with their victims, but the truth eventually came out. Again, the FBI could have more indictments to come. Live in the newsroom, Simon Shakat, 7 Action News. Back to you.
Heartbreaking for families.
Absolutely.
All right, Simon, thank you.